your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
Hi Posh fam, welcome to yet another episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to be recapping and talking about all things episode 10. Now, I'm trying to clutch my pearls like prime and proper Tia, but there's no pearls to clutch here. And that's just because this particular episode was just underwhelming. There were maybe 2 or 3 talking points, and this all happened right at the tail end of this episode. We're going to get into the talking point, but first things first, if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to this channel, share this channel with your friends, and thank you to my ride or die subscribers. You guys have stayed on and just supported me all through. Thank you, and please continue to stay on. But before I continue on this commentary, I want to say something, and this is in the wake of the devastating tragedy that happened in Bondi in Sydney, Australia. There is no space for hatred in our community, in our society. We need to constantly show that we are who we are. We need to show support, we need to show kindness, and we need to be there for each other. And my thoughts and heartfelt prayers to the Jewish community and to anyone whose family was involved in the event of last night. Now let's get into the talking point of today. I'd say there were a few talking points. We're just going to brush on all of the, should I say, tidbits. We did see Ashley breaking up with Josh. Now, I'm not sure why she did that on air. Yes, she met him on air. They had a blinded on air, and she had a blinded on air with Gizelle. But having to do that in public or on air was just unfair to Josh. Like, this guy has just ride or died with you, and we know all of this was for content, but to then come and tell him or tell us that you're breaking up with him on air was just uncalled for. We didn't need all of this. Besides, she's still navigating her family dynamics with her younger sister going into college. She's supporting her the best way she can. Apparently, there's a few drama with their dad. But we're not going to get into the specifics of all of this because it's all Ashley's business. We did see Tia trying to have an engagement with Stacey leading up to Stacey's Shayo launch. Now, this is where things went left. But again, Stacey tried extending an olive branch to have a conversation with Stacey just before the launch. But I guess Stacey wanted Tia at the event, regardless of the fact that they have not, seen eye to eye from all of the conversation that's been happening, alluding to Stacey being a liar. Now, again, it's no surprise Stacey couldn't get her story straight, but we love Stacey for just being a little bit of a crazy woman this particular season. She has just sort of kept the show going. Now, Kiana's boyfriend Greg is ring shopping with Kiana's mom and Angel. Now, I don't know if Greg is being talked into getting a ring. The guy looks stressed as he looks like he's about to convulse. The prices of the ring, oh my God, telling a lot of story there. 2 million, from 2 million to like 200,000. I'm like, what? Wow. But anyway, Greg, please make a decent woman out of Kiana. We are rooting for the two of you. If Kiana's mom, isn't anything to go by, that woman isn't letting you off the hook. Yeah, no way, you're not off the hook. Now, we did see Stacey catching up with her BFF about all of the events, with the ladies, how she's having a hard time just having the ladies believe her. And I understand Stacey, but the fact that Stacey isn't coming on with the truth makes it really hard for us to rally around her whilst the girls are really digging their heels in and dragging her as much as they can. So it is a catch-20 here. Stacey, I don't know how you're going to do to repair old wounds, but safe to say you can hold your own. So we're just going to let you do what you do best, all right? And that is just lie your way through it all. Stacey is hosting an event for her Shayo brand. Eddie's also hosting an event for his Happy Eddie brand. So there's a lot of high up events going on in this particular episode. But before we get to that, we did see Gizelle catching up with Wendy just before she had a one-on-one with Monique, and she wanted to see where Wendy's head is at with regards to Monique's relationship. And Wendy gave good feedback, and just in part because Wendy's also getting to know Monique as well, following the fact that she didn't really get to know Monique in the prior seasons. And so yes, she did give good feedback, talked about Stacey, how Stacey is full of it. But we see Wendy rooting for Stacey, which is a good thing. Now, Stacey, on the other hand, not so much. Now, before this particular sit down with Monique and let's just get ahead onto it. Monique actually had a sit down with Gizelle. Before they had a sit down, Gizelle didn't know what to expect. Same as Monique, because coming from where they came from, we know their history following the Bind Gates reunion. That was epic. In fact, it goes down on Real Housewife reunion memory history books. So that was epic, and that was in a good light for either of these ladies. So when they did have their sit down, we literally were clutching our pearls here. But I can see the growth in Monique, and I can also see the growth in Gizelle. And it was this growth that led them to find a space to actually see eye to eye, communicate how they hurt each other, and I guess moving forward, how they are able or how they are going to progressively grow the relationship in just being accountable or holding themselves accountable before it gets out of hand. So good on these ladies for able to navigate this whole conversation and move on from here. And I'm hoping that they can get on the other side and just build a blossoming friendship. Now, this particular episode ended at Shayo's event. Like I said, it wasn't a good one. We did see Happy Eddie, not a lot of support. He was having a stand for his Happy Eddie event with a lot of merch in display, but there wasn't anyone coming in to buy. I don't know. It did clash with Shayo's. Now, I was surprised that Stacey did not invite Wendy. Now, in her speech, she did say she extended invite to everyone, but Wendy did say she wasn't invited because she felt there was a conflict of interest, given that they are both, marketing or in the same market space, selling the same type of business. So I can understand Stacey's reasoning, but the fact that she then didn't say outrightly to the other girls why Wendy was a no-show is just, again, on brand for Stacey. That chick lies and lies and she can't even keep up with her lies. We love her. Okay, so this particular event got off to a smooth start. Okay, we saw a few of her merch, t-shirts and stuff. And very quickly, she wanted to clear the air with Ashley. Ashley was invited. Ashley extended an olive branch and attended the event, knowing that their histories are not, aligning at the moment. But then, I am not sure why Stacey decided to pull Ashley to the corner. Not exactly to the corner, in the presence of the invitees for this Hashayo launch. Yes, Stacey inviting Ashley was a good move, but having her cornered in front of everyone to talk about their animosity or their disagreement was just uncalled for. Not on your launch, not on your product launch. Stacey, this is your business. Why are you trying to ruin the image? I cannot understand for the life of me why she did that. Well, Ashley is not one to back down. She literally called her a liar to her face and said, we are not going to move forward until you stop lying. Stacey, on the other hand, doubled down and said, I'm not going to move forward until you stop attacking me. So it became you're lying, you're attacking, you're senseless. I'm like, what is this back and forth? And it didn't really end there because the ladies then went into a corner and sat down with guests still watching. And Stacey brought up Tia to, I'm not sure what the conversation was about. In retrospect, it shouldn't have happened because Stacey has her own truth, Tia has her own truth, and these two couldn't even find the middle ground. Stacey was trying to speak her own truth. Tia tried to interrupt. Stacey shut her down. Tia did listen, and then when it came to Tia's turn to give her own side of the story, Stacey didn't want to have a bar of it. It ended up a mess. These women were at the top of each other's throats, screaming their heads out. And I was so shocked. Stacey walked Tia out of the room. Now, I'm all for Stacey being, strong defense, support herself, but having to walk this lady out when she's trying to get a perspective or find a common ground to which you guys can coexist was uncalled for. But guys, this is where it ends. I want you to come on and share your thoughts because I am still reeling, like I said, clutching my pearls, reeling from the whole situation. I'm hoping that they can find a resolution in the next episode because, quite frankly, this was in poor form. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. And please, please, please remember, be kind to each other. You are deserving.